Thank you, Neil.
So is this a preview to coming attractions? Mattie Duppler, the National Taxpayers Union senior fellow there. That's my worry, and a pox on both parties' houses for this, because the reality is both parties are very good at making promises, very bad at explaining basic math. And the basic math does not allow for those promises, right?
Yeah, I mean, get rid of the party problem. That's a politician problem. But listen, we know that with Democrats, they have decided that their winning coalition strategy in order to be electorally successful is to promise free stuff, right? We always think this about Democrats. And now Democrats are really just disposing of the stuff. They're not saying free college anymore, free health care. They're just saying a massive wealth transfer is what we need in order for Americans to go to the polls and vote for Democrats. Now, in some senses, I think maybe the conservative argument of pro-growth reform has taken hold and is starting to make inroads here, because Democrats are starting to talk like Republicans in that way, in the sense that families do better when they have their own money to control their own spending decisions.
Well, not all of them, unfortunately,
Mattie,
not all of them, right? I mean, now some of the leading candidates considering presidential runs, from Cory Booker to Kamala Harris, are contemplating these $500 a month checks written out to folks to spend as they please. Now, it's a matter of saying, all right, you're going to be very productive with this money, and we will encourage you to be very productive with this money. But where does it end?
The problem is Democrats get the means all wrong. They might have the ends right, but the means are wrong. They, of course, want government to intervene and to redistribute that wealth in order to accomplish exactly what conservatives have been saying that we've been trying to do with regulatory reform and tax reform, and that is give Americans more of their own money. The question, of course, is when you intervene and have government be the intermediary, that raises the cost significantly. It's telling, of course, that Democrats are really interested in allowing middle and average Americans to keep their own money more after not supporting tax reform when it passed last year. This, of course, gave $2,000 back to the typical American family due to the decreasing of the tax rates and also the doubling of the standard deduction. But other things that Democrats have mentioned in the past, like increasing the child tax credit, that's something that happened in the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, even though Democrats refuse to support that law. So you see this move to the left with this group of progressives who are running for president, trying to essentially outcompete one another with how much they can promise to the American people without actually having to back it up with math and an explanation of where it's coming from.
Republicans are hardly in a position to be haughty about it, right? I mean, they're overseeing a $1 trillion deficit when they had to run at the table, and maybe for the foreseeable future. And I like to give the benefit of the doubt to the American people. You explain to them what's going on, and you say that this is not sustainable. A good many will say, yeah, maybe something, but they would like equal sacrifice by all to address that. But no one does that, because it held to pay on the politician who even thinks about it.
Well, let's see over the next couple of months what happens. In this coming spring, we are going to have another debt limit fight, which, of course, will put the specter of spending right back in the limelight. And this will be at a time that we've got dozens of Democrats running for president trying to say that they have plans that will increase wealth for the average American. Eventually, one of those Democrats is going to turn to their competitor and say, listen, you have to explain how you're going to pay for this. So I think that having a number of Democrats...
Well, the standard line is they increase taxes on the wealthy.
They increase taxes on the wealthy, but they're going to have to go back on the prosperity that we're experiencing right now, and that's going to be a more difficult sell for them to make.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about increasing taxes, that's not going to be enough to pay for everything they want to do.
Exactly right. Not even close.
Not even close. All right, Mattie, thank you very much. What a crazy world we live in here. We're following that. We're at session lows right now in this market here, and a lot of it, again, on some of the economic numbers we've been telling you about that are not that great. Again, sentiment numbers, building sentiment numbers, consumer shopper sentiment numbers, and a USA Today number that said that right now the appetite is such that while Americans are looking forward to the holidays, they're not really looking forward to 2019 when those bills come due. Then there's the issue of healthcare and related stocks like HCA, Healthcare, Cigna, Humana, Centene, and some of these others that are feeling the heat of a judge effectively saying Obamacare as we know it is constitutionally dead. More to this.